Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Into the Stratusphere. I'm your girl Cindy G, and wow, you guys, we are in episode 5. I just felt that I just getting started with the series after I became the newest member of the Bullet Cast crew. But man, I'm very blown away how time has fly very quick, despite the fact that this year has been a not so great year from all of us, including yours truly, but I digress. But hey, we're just making the best out of it all together. Anyway, you guys, so we just came out of a very busy week in wrestling. I mean, we just had AEW's All Out, which I highly suggest to check out the recap video/audio that yours truly made the appearance alongside Philip Antoine as we discuss what's going on with AEW All Out. And I just wanted to say this, you guys. I do stand my opinion and my viewpoint. And for my final grade altogether for AEW's All Out, I did give it a C plus altogether. And I'm happy that Matt Hardy made a statement during the last episode of AEW Dynamite. I'm glad he is making a full recovery, and I cannot wait to see him in the ring very soon. Hopefully, this is the end of Matt Hardy's and Sammy Guevara's feud once and for all, because I know a lot of people say it's like a curse, but yeah. Anyway, you guys, go ahead and check it out. So, with that being said, I know this episode is slightly delayed because of a lot of interviews has been going on recently for the Bullet Cast, and I did watch all 3 of them. I'm very proud of Philip for what he done to bring in like 3 people that he interviewed like day by day. Like he did interview Bimbo Jimbo, James Kincaid of Team Tenno Media, and he's the commentator for All Pro Wrestling. I highly suggest to check it out. I did listen to it. I actually know Jimbo since last September, meeting through Baby Huey at the Chase Center Arena for not Friday night, Tuesday Night SmackDown. That was like the last Tuesday Night SmackDown before they moved to Friday night. And that's when I used to watch WWE, people. I'm just saying. So yeah, check it out. Also, Philip did an interview with, I guess you could say, a current NWA television champion, Ziggy Dice. And recently, as of yesterday, he did an interview with Impact Wrestling / New Japan Pro Wrestling star TJP, which, again, you guys, definitely check it out on the YouTube channel, The Bullet Cast, or just simply Bullet Cast. So just enjoy it. I really enjoyed the interview that Philip did. It was very stellar, and I learned so much. So yeah, you guys. Anyway, so for the topic of today's episode, since it is like in a delay, so we are still going to be doing, starting from backwards to forwards, like recap from Impact Wrestling. Also, my thoughts of the participant of the New Japan Pro Wrestling G-1 Climax. Also, my overall thoughts of the IWGP Jr Tag Team Championship Tournament. Also, the rematch for the Never 6-Man Tag Team Champion. The recap for last night's New Japan Strong, the final episode of the Fighting Spirit Unleashed, and also like last week's Fighting Spirit Unleashed results, and also the independent wrestling results. I'm not gonna go into like, the upcoming shows because I don't know when this podcast will be up, since it is going to be delayed because of the incredible interviews has been going on and everything to put in this amazing content as well. So that's what is going to be discussion. But before I get into all that, there is another sad news that I'm going to have to report. And unfortunately, we had 2 passing that has been going on this week. That is right. Both of them were in the earlier days of TNA wrestling. So first things first, Stevie Lee, also known as Puppet the Psycho Dwarf, has passed away. I just saw that on on Impact Wrestling's tweet that he did passed away. No further information of the cause of death, but he did made an impact, like bringing like pretty interesting matches and all around live too. So rest in peace to Puppet the Psycho Dwarf. Also, another one that who has been the voice of TNA wrestling. That is right, Barry Scott passed away at the age of 65. No cause of death has been reported. And I've watched like his past work, especially he did incredible video packaging for like opening of like past TNA Wrestling's event. And his final appearance he did was Slammiversary 2018. My heart goes out to friends, family, loved ones, colleagues of Barry Scott. May he and also Stevie Lee rest in peace, you know. And thank you for everything you guys done for TNA/Impact Wrestling. Anyway, you guys, digress on this whole sad news. Let's go ahead and move on to the positive, even though one of the topic may be a hit or miss, which we're going to get into that later on. Y'all know what I'm talking about regarding like the preview of the topic. Anyway, you guys, so let's go ahead and start off with the results for past independent wrestling shows that happened this past weekend. So on Friday, September 4th, Action Wrestling had their show at the Roger Spencer Community Center, which they have to keep the capacity in low, and also mask requires social distancing and all the safety procedures. So you have as Nolan Edwards defeated Kevin Ryan, Bobby Flacco defeated BK Westbrook, Jaden Newman defeated Kung Fu Donnie Janela, aka Cousin Donnie Janela, which you've seen him from past episode of AEW Dark. One Call Manners defeated Graham Bell. Eric Royal defeated Shudi, aka Pineapple Pete from AEW Dark. And AC Mack defeated Brett Leeson to retain the Action Championship and the SUP Bone Storm Championship match. And then followed by Action Wrestling had another show called Action The Tonight Show with Matt Sell. Again, took place at the Roger Spencer Community Center at Tyrone, Georgia, where Graham Bell defeated Fearless Musa, Adam Priest defeated Patrick Heater, Eric Royal defeated One Call Manners, Nolan Edwards defeated Angelus Lane, and Matt Sell defeated Effie. All this you guys can check it out on the website. There'll probably be a link somewhere to check either their YouTube channel or Fight TV or anywhere. Like, I think it'll be coming soon on IWTV or other wrestling related website that covers the past wrestling show. Anyway, we're moving on to Saturday, September 5th. Uncanny Attraction Drags and Dropkicks present Polly Party 2nd, which took place at the Polly Cult Mansion in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where Jody the Wrestler defeated Boom Harden, Eel O'Neill, Facade, Jaden, and Pinky Sanchez in a 6-way match for the number 1 contendership for the Wrestlers Lab Championship. Nick Staff defeated David Lawless. Andrew Palace defeated Ziggy Haim for the number 1 contendership for the Wrestlers Lab Champion. Lady Frost defeated Remy LeVay. Leroy Green defeated PB Smooth. Effie and the Runaway, which is the team of Calvin Culture and Tyler Klein, defeated the Black Hand Society, which consists of Eric Everhart, Jack Pollan, and Peyton Graham in a 6-man tag team match. Chase Holiday defeated Xavier Fairway in a chain match to retain the MidwestTerritory.com championship. The Undertaker defeated Pancake, and the Young defeated Jody the Wrestler and Joshua Wells in a 3-way match to retain the Wrestlers Lab Championship. And Billy Dixon defeated Jarrett Evans to retain the Fight Club Chocolate City Championship. So you guys can definitely check it out on IWTV. Anyway, moving on to the same day, Brie Combination Wrestling presents Anniversary, which is their 4-year anniversary show that took place at the Showboat in Atlantic City, New Jersey, where Rick Recon defeated Blaze Haram, Ruthless Lala defeated Anthony Gangorn, Impact Wrestling star Ace Romero, aka AC Romero, defeated Vince Steele. The team Sasujin consists of Dominic De Niro and Chris Barton defeated the team of the Ugly Ducklings, consists of Rob Killjoy and Lance Lude to become the inaugural BCW Tag Team Champion. The team of PCA consists of Mike Law and Joey Ace defeated Too Good, consists of Ace Andrew and Cuzzo. Faye Jackson with Mr. Cheeks of The Lost Boy, aka the rapper that raps Lex Camera Action back in 2001. Oh my god, middle school memory. Digress on that. Defeated Ray Cantrell. Ruthless Lala defeated Vanity and Riley Shepard to become the new BCW Women's Champion. And Mr. Darius Carter defeated former WWE superstar JTG and retained the BCW Heavyweight Champion. You guys can definitely check it out on demand on TitleMatchNetwork.com. Moving on to Sunday, September 6th, Absolute Intense Wrestling presents I Sure You, We're Open. Took place at the Celebration Plaza Amphitheater in Indianapolis, Indiana, where bulking season consists of Arthur MacArthur and Chuck Stone defeated the team of Nolan Edwards and TKD in a dark tag team match. And then you have is a tag team match where 40 Acres consists of AJ Gray and PB Smooth, with Jocelyn Navarro defeated the Young Studs, consists of Bobby Beverly and Eric Ryan, again in a tag team match. Then you have is Dominic Garrini defeated Calvin Tegman, Derek Director with Ziggy Haim defeated Zach Thomas, Filthy Tom Lawler defeated the Karate Man known as Ethan Page by referee's decision. Trey Lamar defeated Benjamin Carter, which he did appear on AEW Dark recently, and Chase Oliver and Johnny Patch in a 4-way match. Levi Everett defeated former WWE superstar / Impact Wrestling star Swoggle. Alley Cat, Levi Everett, Nate Webb, and Swoggle defeated Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham. The Bitcoin Boys consist of Eric Taylor and Mikey Montgomery and the Duke in a 8-man tag team match. Lee Moriarty defeated Eric Stevens, and the team of Two and Infinity and Beyond consists of Colin Delaney and Cheech defeated the Philly Marino Experience, consists of Marino Tegagia, forgive me if I botched that last name, and Philly Collins to become the new AIW Tag Team Champion. So congratulations to the tag team. And the second gear crew consists of One Call Manners, Mance Warner, and Matthew Justice, with Bill Alfonso defeated the Rip City Shooter, consists of Joshua Bishop, Wes Barkley, and Mr. Brixer, formerly known as Romance from I Love New York, but I digress on it, in a 6-man tag team street fight match, which you guys can definitely check it out on IWTV. Alright, Game Changer Wrestling presents Bring 'Em Out. It took place at the same venue at the Celebration Plaza Amphitheater in Indianapolis, Indiana, where in a dark match, Thunder Kitty defeated Billy Starks. And then moving on to the main card that airs on Fight TV, Jordan Oliver defeated Benjamin Carter. Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson defeated Alex Colon. Tony Deppen defeated Calvin Tegman. The team of Iron Beast consists of KTB and Shane Mercer defeated Lee Moriarty and Trey Lamar. Alley Cat defeated Impact Wrestling star All Ego Ethan Page. AJ Gray defeated Mance Warner. Atticus Cogar defeated Ace Austin, Cole Roderick, Dylan McKay, Jimmy Lloyd, and Nate Webb in a six-way scramble match. AEW star Joey Janela defeated Effie. Ricochet Page defeated Matthew Justice in a non-title match, and Blake Christian defeated ACH. So that is it for the results for the past independent wrestling show. Again, you can check it out in all those wrestling streaming website, whether it costs like an affordable price or probably free. So I highly should check out their social media page, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram as well, you guys. And like I said, I'll be giving you guys like upcoming shows update on the next episode of Into the Stratusphere when we're back to a normal scheduling posting, because like I said, it's a busy week for the Bullet Cast, you guys. Alright guys, so with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the results from last week's New Japan Strong show. I won't be like talking the full recap because I'm going to be recapping last night's shows, you guys. So for the recap results, so you have is the team of Alex Zane and former WWE superstar Fred Roster, formerly known as Darren Young, defeated Clark Connors and the DKC, which, by the way, Fred Roster did a pretty good job. He did improve a lot. That's all I can say about that in short term for that. Carl Frederick defeated Mysterioso. Hikuleo defeated Brody King. And Jay White defeated Flip Gordon. So those are the results from last week's show. And now let's go ahead and move on to this week's show. So that is right, the last episode of the Fighting Spirit Unleashed, because next week, the New Japan Strong Show, it will be having a new show, which is the Lions Break Crown, which is very intriguing. I don't know what's going to be the concept for it because, you know, you have the upcoming tours that were supposed to be happening this year, but of course, due to Rona taking over the world, it has to change completely, you guys. But we'll see what's going on, since I know they're probably going to be doing an upcoming press conference coming up sometime this week, like, regarding the whole, like, the G-1 Climax and everything that's been going on, which, again, I'm going to be touching base on it and giving you guys pretty much my not-so-great thoughts of the participants. I'm just going to say that, you guys. But anyway, so let's go into recap. So, commentator for the English commentary you have is Kevin Kelly and Alex Kozlov. And for the Japanese commentary you have is Shibata and Tanahashi. And I only listen to the English commentary because that's the only thing I can like understand, and also like listening to like the different movesets and commentary styles as well. That's kind of like my preference. Alright, so the opening of the match you have is the team of Impact Wrestling star TJP, which again, cheap plug, check out the latest interview Philip did on TJP. Again, check it out, you guys. It was a fun interview that is great to watch. Alright? Anyway, TJP and ACH versus the team of Adrian Quest and one half of the Regal twin, Logan Regal. I'm gonna have to say this. I like TJP's theme in New Japan way better than his recent new Impact Wrestling theme, because it kind of fits his style. Like, the Impact Wrestling theme he has, and I did not touch base on it, it's like pretty much generic, but that's just me. But anyway, this is New Japan we're talking about. But yeah, but I am loving Adrian Quest's New Japan's theme. Also, it's so dope as hell. But anyway, you guys, so let's go ahead and go with so it's a lot of back and forth going on. Very impressive, good match. I was very entertained by it. I'm giving so much props to Adrian Quest. I did state it on past tweets that like he has a huge opportunity ahead, especially with this opportunity with New Japan Pro Wrestling, bring in like more of a star power caliber. Like I said in the past, I did see him in past APW show last November at Game Recognized Game, and I think I did see him at West Coast Pro. I'm not 100% sure, but I gotta definitely check out my past vlogs, which you guys can definitely check it out on my YouTube channel, you guys. Simply underscore C underscore, okay? For past adventures in wrestling vlog, but digress on it. Anyway, it is a pretty impressive like showcase opening of the match. You have his Adrian Quest with the springboard 360 crossbody to TJP, and then you have TJP with the Muda lock to Quest, but then he broke in the submission hole. More back and forth going on. Then Quest did counter with the Heroic Karana while TJP was about to do the detonation kick, but of course, that was a beautiful counter for Quest before he tagged Logan Regal. Regal bounced TJP on the side of the ring while it was a face-off between ACH and Adrian Quest. And then, of course, tag back and forth. And then Regal did the crucifix spin to ACH for a 2 count. And that was a pretty impressive crucifix spin from Regal's part. Especially like a mixture of like high fly and technician skill. I was loving this match every minute of it too. Then you have Adrian Quest did crossbody to both ACH and TJP while they were like both of these gentlemen like going back and forth against each other amongst the team. Then you have is ACH with the DDT to Adrian Quest. And then Adrian Quest with a spinning kick to ACH. Then a spinning crossbody. Like, whoa, it's crazy. More back and forth. And then ACH hit with the brain buster to Quest for a 2 count. And then followed by that ACH with the frog splash to pick up the victory. So TJP and ACH did win the opening of the match. And I was very blown away by it. I was very entertained, for both teams. Like, I cannot wait for what's going to be next for Adrian Quest. Also with Logan Regal, I know his brother is stuck in the UK. Hopefully we'll be seeing him very soon once this whole like travel ban situation is settling. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the next match. You have is the singles match between Rocky Romero versus Danny Limelight. Is it just me, or is it Danny Limelight and Rocky Romero seems to be related because they do look similar? I mean, similar features, similar, like, face structure. I don't know, you guys. Like, they must be related or something, you guys. I mean, it is pretty interesting to say at least, but who knows? It is gonna be like a mystery, y'all. Anyway, you guys, so start off, there's like a lot of like back and forth going on, a lot of like interesting swagger from Romero, of course, bringing in the whole sneaky style vibe to it, and of course, a Danny Limelight trying to like copy what Rocky Romero is doing, and then you have Danny Limelight did the drop kick, then a spinning dive, which it was a beautiful dive I ever seen from him to Romero. Like landing into Romero outside the ring, that was awesome. And then he has Rocky Romero with the suplex for a 2 count, a lot of back and forth. And then Romero did trying to do the orange special, which is kind of like a interesting submission hold, kind of like a mixture with the whole like torture rack. So it's pretty interesting. And then Danny Limelight with the Dragon Sleeper. But then Rocky Romero was about to escape. But then Limelight did counter with the suplex for the 2 count. And of course, Rocky Romero with the Forever Strike. Forever Strike. Forever. And then Danny Limelight counter. I like the way where Rocky Romero was saying forever. Forever, of course. Kind of reminds me of Roppongi 3K though. God, I miss all 3 of them together. Hopefully Yo is okay. I know that he suffered from a torn ACH and he's going to be out up until next year. Hopefully we'll be seeing him in Wrestle Kingdom, but I digress on it. Anyway, Romero did the spinning lariat after Limelight did counter from the Forever Strike. And then Romero did the strong 0 for the 2 count. And then followed by he was about to do the sliced bread too, but Danny Limelight counter. And then he did a double spinning heel kick. And then a lot of back and forth going on. And then Limelight with the fisherman suplex for a 2 count until Romero did the suplex and then transitioned to an armbar until Danny Limelight tapped out and Rocky Romero won the match. That was a very fun match for both gentlemen. I was blown away from like a very similar actions too. Especially, I was very glad that Alex Kozlov did touch base about Danny Limelight's past history, where Danny Limelight did used to be in the military before becoming a pro wrestler. So I know like this recording, I'm recording it on September 11. Of course, this is a sad day, 19-year anniversary of the world has changed and everything else, all the above. So Danny Limelight, I want to say thank you so much for your service. Huge respect, man. That's all I can say too. But yeah, the match was awesome. Very impressed. Cannot wait to see what more to offer from Danny Limelight. Anyway, cut to commercial, and of course, did touch base the announcement. They did announce the Lions Break Crown. Don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to be doing a tournament just for the up and coming, like the LA Dojo Young Lions, and also like so many debuts that we have from New Japan Strong, like for the USA side, like Alex Zane, like Christian, Logan Regal, Adrian Quest, something like that. And I know we have like the heavy hitter veterans, like for instance PJ Black, Fred Roster, hell, Filthy Tom Lawler. We haven't seen Filthy Tom Lawler since Lions Break Collision. Where has he been? Oh yeah, he's been doing independent wrestling bookings. Yeah, I just read the results. Yeah. Anyway, you guys, intermission over, and then we're gonna go move on to a tag team match between the team of David Finlay and former WWE superstar who is now currently with Ring of Honor, PJ Black versus yay God Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. It was another fun match. There was a lot of trash talking going on. Of course, Tama Tonga with the usual cussing going on. I can hear a lot of S word. A lot of S word, but there's no F words. Just want to let y'all know. So there was like a lot of like, smack talking going on between Tama Tonga and PJ Black, of course. Like a lot of arguing back and forth for it. Then you have is Dave Finlay with the drop kick to Tonga Loa, and of course PJ Black with the double stomp on Loa's left arm, which is like ouch. And then of course more back and forth. Dave Finlay with the headlock to Tonga Loa, and then outside the ring Loa did the headbutt, and then a side slam that landed Dave Finlay on the floor, like, whoa. And then both guys came back to the ring, more back and forth action, and then Tongaloa with the invertical suplex for the 2 count. And then he did try with the neck breaker for the 2 count, then snapmare, then a chin lock. It is kind of like more of like this whole tag team dynamic. Like I said, PJ Black and Dave Finlay, they have a really great tag team chemistry together. I would love to see them teaming up together too. Like whenever the travel ban situation going, which I'm gonna touch base on the travel ban situation between USA and Japan briefly. Whenever it changes, I would like to see them like teaming up together. I mean, they have really great chemistry, and especially they work really well together. Especially trying their best to beat Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Amazing. And then you have PJ Black with a spinning heel kick and then a spinning punch to Tonga Loa. And then he did a crossbody to Loa for a 2 count. And then he did a very beautiful top rope moonsault, landed on Loa for another 2 count. And he was about to do a placebo bat on the top turnbuckle until Tama Tonga low blows him. Of course, typical Bullet Club with the low blows. What is up with it, you guys? And then, of course, PJ Black did the drop kick to Tama Tonga until there's like a lot of back and forth action, especially with Loa. Did counter, and then he did the Samoan drop, then the HN or whatever Alex Kozlov trying to pronounce it, HN or something. Verify it, please, you guys. And of course, him and Tonga did picked up the victory. So it was pretty much a very fun tag team match. It was great seeing Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa back as a tag team together, because the last time we see them, they were in singles action, especially with the New Japan Cup. And man, I'm very glad. Looking forward to see what's more for them to offer, especially here in the US soil, just to be safe too. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the main event match. It's for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Right to Contract match between the current contract holder, or certificate holder, as what Kevin Kelly said, Kenta, versus Jeff Cobb. So you have is the vignette from like the New Japan Cup overseas in Japan. Of course, the winner is Evil, and then the New Japan Cup USA here, where Kenta won. And then once he won the match, of course, Jeff Cobb attacked Kenta. After Kenta say, "Where is John Moxley? Where is John Moxley?" Hello, John Moxley still with AEW. He just retained the AEW World Championship match at All Out. Digress. Anyway, yeah, so starting off with a lot of mind game strategy going on between Kenta and Jeff Cobb. There's a lot of back and forth going on. I think that main event is mostly like with Kenta being the most dominant, because you guys can tell that Jeff Cobb has his kneecap wrapped around bandages from like past injuries that happened, like past New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong show a couple weeks ago. So I know that it was like a lot of like tactics on Kenta's end. But with Jeff Cobb, he did put up one grade of a fight. So there's a like couple of strikes from Kenta, and then you have his Jeff Cobb with the military suplex to Kenta, and that's led Kenta to roll out of the ring just to recover. Once Cobb's not looking, that's when Kenta did strike Cobb's kneecap that is bandaged up, and that's where he's making like most of the advantage, like I said. And so Kenta did the leg lock to Cobb, which Cobb did manage to escape despite the excruciating pain on his left kneecap, and then more like leg stop and strike on Kenta's end. And then Kenta did the flying drop kick, followed by a double stomp until Cobb did roll out after, of course, the double stomp on top of the turnbuckle. You guys, more back and forth action, even though he's trying his best to relieve the pain and the agonizing way. And then Cobb did the Samoan drop, but for a 2 count. And then right when Cobb was about to like attack Kenta, Kenta for it, and then Kenta did the DDT and then went out of the ring, and then he did grab the steel chair. I'm just looking at through the notes from what I wrote down, because it was a lot of an amazing, excruciating match. Like, you started with Kenta being the dominant, and then you have his like a steel chair involved while the ref is not looking. So Jeff Cobb did avoid the steel chair, and then he did did some strike, and then did the tour of the island, but of course the ref is down because Kenta did pull the ref, and Jeff Cobb did actually accidentally slam the ref, and that was before the whole steel chair happening that's been going on, you guys. Ref is still down, of course, and of course, typical Bullet Club fashion, Kenta did the low blow to Jeff Cobb. Typical. And then he tried to do the GTS, then Cobb counter with another tour of the island, but of course the ref is still down. And then of course, once when like the ref was about to get up and about to do 2 count, out comes Chase Owen, and then he pulled the ref down as Kenta was trying to like beat down Cobbs, and then Chase did actually help beating down Jeff Cobb also. And then Cobb did kick Chase Owens, but then Kenta got the briefcase, and then he did the PK. Of course, typical Bullet Club fashion way. And then Kenta was trying to plead for a referee, and then he did the GTS. That's when another referee, Jeremy Marcus, came out, and then he did the 3 count. Kenta retained the briefcase, you guys. It was a pretty good main event match. It was just mostly the dominating way for Kenta to make sure that Cobb is still hurt, especially like Cobb has like a bruised like kneecap. I'm pretty sure he's okay, you guys, because New Japan Strong is been taped like in way advance. I don't know when is the last time they had their taping, but I know they did in like in advance way to make sure that like they got it all in the video library just to get ready for like the next show, the next show, and the next show, you guys. So yeah, you guys, I'm pretty much satisfied with the show overall. And so for the thumbs up, downgrade, I was very impressed with all these matches. A lot of great showcasing moment from Adrian Quest, also Logan Regal, Danny and Limelight. They did it all. The tag team match between God versus David Finlay and PJ Black, that was amazing. The main event match was kind of like a bit of like a cool down, but it was like a pretty much a heavy hitter match. Even though I'm not too surprised that Kenta did retain the briefcase. And overall, I was very impressed. I really enjoyed it. So for that, you guys, I'm actually going to give it a 2 thumbs up. Alright, you guys, so let's go ahead and segue into what's going on overseas in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So yesterday, Friday morning, we just had a rematch for the Never 6-Man Tag Team match, which is Chaos versus Chaos. The champion Chaos consists of Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, and Yoshihashi versus the team of Chaos, Kazuchika Okada, Sho, and Toru Yano. And that was a pretty interesting match they did put out. I'm surprised that it was the second matchup because I thought they were going to have a match like before intermission, which is pretty interesting. But I know they're just trying to save up for like what's going on with the home main event match, especially like a match which then, LIJ versus Bullet Club, and then the whole like IWGP Jr tag team tournament. So that would make sense to place that match in second. And I was pretty much very impressed by it. Of course, Ishii did pin Sho to pick up the victory, and for him, Yoshihashi, and Goto to retain the Never 6-Man Tag Team Champion. So it is a pretty interesting matchup they have all together. I was very blown away by it. And yeah, I'm excited to see what is next for these champion. Like, I know they're going to be focusing on is the G-1 Climax, which I'm getting into the announcement and my thoughts about it overall. But yeah, I was very impressed with the matchup overall. Hopefully we'll be seeing like kind of like more competition arise too from different New Japan units alike. So congratulations, Yoshihashi. Is actually his first title retainment since he won his first ever title, which of course is the Never 6-Man Tag Team title like a couple weeks ago during the Summer Struggle tour. So congrats to him, Goto, and Ishii, you guys. And then segueing into the finals of the IWGP Jr Tag Team Championship tournament, which you have is the team of representing LIJ is Hiromu Takahashi and Bushi versus representing Suzuki-gun, Yoshimoto Kanemaru, and El Desperado. And I want to put it as a side disclaimer, I'm so sorry with the botch. I think I say, instead of Bushi, I say Shingo Takagi. So my bad, you guys. It was a complete botch on my end. So sorry, y'all. It's Bushi, alright? Oh, Bushi. Anyway, I was very impressed with the main event match. It was starting off slow, but then you have like a whole lot of mind games, especially from Hiromu's side, of course. with his mind game, but it is a really well off like tournament. My pick was Suzuki-gun, but I was kind of worried that LIJ is going to be the one that's going to be the new champion because they have the joint theme song together, like combining with Hamaru and Bushi's team theme together, and plus they have matching masks too. So it got me to concern, like, I guess they're gonna be the new champion, and that's gonna be leaving Tagage and Sonata without a title, unless if it's the IWGP tag team champion. I don't know. It was like a lot in my mind that I was kind of like thinking what's going to be happening next overall too. And I was very impressed with the presentation of the tournament altogether. And I know for a fact that it was a heavy hitter. Like you have is LIJ and Suzuki Gun on top. And then second, you have is the team of Ryusuke Taguchi and Master Wato. And of course, last place, of course, Bullet Club. Taiji Ishimori, sorry. Taiji Ishimori and Gato, so I was very blown away. Like I said, of course, a lot of tactic going on, especially some dirty tactic from Suzuki-gun. Of course, when Kanemaru did pull down Resho Umewo, and that's when they had to take the advantage where Kanemaru grabbed the bottle of whiskey and then hit it on Hamaru's. I think he hit it on the head or on the chest. I gotta take a look at the replay for it. But yeah, and then that's when El Desperado did not once but two Pinche Loco, and that's when Suzuki-gun is your new IWGP Jr. Tag Team Champion. And I couldn't been more happier than ever. And I think this is the first time Yoshimoto Kanemaru had a title, won a title in like, I would say years. Like, whoa, I'm very impressed, you guys. So now we have is Minoru Suzuki, who is the current Never Openweight champion. You have his Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. as the current IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. And now Yoshinobu Kanemaru and El Desperado as the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion. And that left to Dokai, or Duke. Wait, there's a lot of pronunciation name, like I said before. Forgive me if I botched the wrestler's first and last name on it. Bear with me. Okay, it's Doki. Yes. I feel bad for Doki. He's the only one without the title, but at the same time, I know people are kind of like ridiculing him as being the fall guy who always get pinned. But I was like, whoa. He actually won a match against Master Wato. And again, I thought it was a botch on my end when I did the Summer Struggle finale at Jingo Stadium recap. It's not El Desperado, it's Dukai, who was the first opponent for Master Wato. So again, my bad on it too. So I was hoping we'll be seeing like possibly a opportunity for Suzuki-gun. And I was thinking, how about have Doki and two other members of Suzuki-gun to be the next challenger for the Never Six-Man Tag Team Championship against Chaos. That would make sense. And of course, the rest of the two-member, they could be like the double champion. And of course, Suzuki-gun can be the most dominant unit ever. Like, don't get me wrong, as much as I love Bullet Club, but Bullet Club in Japan, it kind of seems a little bit cooled down for it. And I know they're trying to like build up, but hey, have no fear. It is gonna be happening, you guys. Which I'm gonna get into that in just a moment. But of course, the Bullet Club in the US are even stronger than ever. Of course, you guys. But with Suzuki-gun, I know they had like a lot of heavy hitting matches, especially during the whole New Japan Cup. Also, everything with like Dominion. Even my dog agrees with me that, of course, you can hear the collar shaking. Anyway, you guys, so, and like having like these unit working together, despite that match that we saw like during the 8-man tag team match where Minoru Suzuki and Taichi had like a brief like exchange after they beat the team of Ryusuke Taguchi, Master Wato, and the Golden Aces. So I was pretty interesting, but who knows what's going to happen next. But we'll see what's going on, you guys. So my thumbs up, thumbs down rating regarding the IWGP Junior Tag Team tournament for the vacant IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion. I was pretty impressed with the presentation of it. I was surprised that the team of Taguchi and Wato did pick up a victory against Suzuki-gun when they kick off the tournament. I feel that Bullet Club versus Suzuki-gun was kind of like a bit like hit or miss. But overall, it was a pretty good tournament. I'm going to give it a generous 1.5 thumbs up. I was impressed with the presentation. I was impressed how they do it, especially all these teams work together. The finale of the match was pretty good, but then you have this dirty finish at the end. But it's all good, you guys, because, Suzuki-gun, there's always ruthless for it. But anyway, you guys, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the participant of the G-1 Climax. Honey, to quote Lovely T here are the participants, and I know that before I go into everything, about A block, I'm going to start with the B block. So you guys, for B block, you have is Hiroshi Tanahashi, the current IWGP Heavyweight and the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, Tetsuya Naito. You have Sonata, one half of the IWGP Tag Team Champion, Zack Sabre Jr., the current Never Six-Man Tag Team Champion, Hiroki Goto, your King of Pro Wrestling 2020 winner, Toru Yano, your current Never Six-Man Tag Team Champion, Yoshihashi, Evil, and as a surprise for the B block, Juice Robinson, and your current IWGP United States contract holder, Kenta. That is right, the participant of the B block. Now, you guys are wondering, how the heck did Juice Robinson and Kenta came to Japan, knowing the fact that there's supposed to be a travel ban to go into Japan? Well, I wanted to give a shout out to one of my followers, DMartin5, aka Daniel, who actually sent out a tweet with the link to the United States Traveling Advisor website, where it shows all the countries, status of the travels, from level 1, level 2, number 3, and level 4. Level 1 is no problems, number 2 is with caution, level 3 is reconsider the travel, and level 4 is do not travel. The last time I checked a couple months ago, because we were still in the pandemic, and it looks like all the flights to different countries are in a level 4 of the do not travel list due to the whole pandemic that is happening. So I checked with with the travel to and from Japan, and of course Japan is now in level 3, which is the reconsider traveling. So they're in a same travel level alongside Canada and Mexico. That is where you guys see a couple of the stars from AEW, from Lucha Bros to the Hybrid 2, and also with Impact with the North. Oh yeah, AEW with the Dark Order, and yeah, teams that are coming from out of the country. So, and I went look through the U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Japan, especially with the information. So they're still on number 3. And also for the entry and exit requirement, they said, are U.S. citizens permitted to enter? They say, yes, but some. As long as, according to what the regulations said on the website, it affected on August 28th. The government of Japan announced policy that will permit U.S. citizen with residence or student status in Japan to enter/re-enter the country. U.S. citizen residents who departed Japan prior to September 1st should visit the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website to review the requirement. And of course, you have to take the test to make sure if the test came out negative within the 72-hour of departure to Japan, and also kind of like a special certificate from the embassy or consulate just in case. So pretty much, so if you're a U.S. citizen, you have to have like either with a Japanese residency or a student status or like a special permission too. So that means that they're bringing stars from here to the United States to Japan. I only focus on the US one because I think that is the most important one, since we have like some of the New Japan Pro Wrestling stars stuck in the United States. So yeah, you guys, that's all the information I know regarding this whole travel situation from to and from Japan, you guys. But if you guys wanted to like give me a little bit more explanation, just feel free to DM me on Twitter or on Instagram, simply _C_OK, of course. So that way, get some clarification. I think the Rudos podcast, shout out to them. I think they kind of touch base on like this whole travel banning situation of to and from Japan on their podcast when they talk about the G-1 Climax. So I would check them out, but then also like just to make sure, just in case. That's all the information I know regarding like the whole travel ban. So yeah, so to and from Japan, as long as if you have a residency there, or if you're a student, or if you have like a special permit. I know things may change, like because we're still in a pandemic, just to make an extra precaution. So that's a really good news for some of the athletes that is going to Japan. For us, I'm happy about that. So anyway, so enough of the B block. Let's go ahead and go to the A block, you guys. So the participating in the A block you have is Yujiro Takahashi, Jay White, one half of the IWGP Tag Team Champion, Taichi, the Never Openweight Champion, Minoru Suzuki, Shingo Takagi, Kota Ibushi, Jeff Cobb, Kazuchika Okada, your current Never Six-Man Tag Team Champion, Tomohiro Ishii. And the last one, you guys, and I know you guys know that I am going to be touching base on that, and, and I really don't want to say this name, but with the podcast integrity, I had to remain professional, but I am going to be giving my 2 cents on it. I'm not going to go into a full extent on it, but I'm going to say his name right now. Will Ospreay. So, here's the thing, you guys. Like, when I found out of this participating of the A block and who's in the tournament now, when they mentioned his name, honestly, I wasn't too surprised, but I was pretty much disappointed. Disappointed with New Japan Pro Wrestling for a little bit of things, you guys. So I'm not going to go into too much detail of this whole speaking out movement. I already talked extensively about the speaking out movement, my 2 cents on it, on Instagram TV, on my Instagram page, which you guys can check it out at simply_C_OK. I actually did touch base of the speaking out movement when I was the special guest on the Ring General podcast, which check out the Ring General on SoundCloud and on their YouTube channel, as well as follow them at Ring General 1 on Instagram and on Twitter. I did give my thoughts about Will Ospreay's statement, which, long story short, I feel that his statement is unexcusable. It kind of reminds me of Tessa Blanchard's statement in a similar fashion. And I get that, like, he did admit that he was suffering mental breakdown, depression, anxiety, and almost contemplating, and trigger warning, you guys, contemplating suicide. But I'm glad he's getting the professional help. But as someone who is suffering mental health issue, someone who's been suffering anxiety and depression for so many years, there is a fine line of taking accountability. I do not wish anybody harm, or I do not wish for anybody taking their life, especially for Will Ospreay's sake. I want him alive, but at the same time, I want him to take the accountability for what he did to that victim, you know? And I did follow the victim. I'm not going to say her name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say the victim's name. I saw so many tweets, so many tweets. She did not accept his apology, which she has every right to do so. But with the tweets that she sent out till this day, it's very heartbreaking. She is still traumatized by it for that. So it actually, made me uncomfortable seeing that he made the appearance. But as an integrity of it too, that, I am still going to be watching the G-1 Climax because, I love New Japan. New Japan got me falling in love with wrestling all over again, especially during the pandemic. But at the same time, I'm kind of disappointed how New Japan Pro Wrestling did not handle this situation, or like for Will Ospreay's sake as well. I know for a fact that, like, it's not just New Japan Pro Wrestling has, like, some of the stars that is, like, prominent. I know, like, for instance, like, when Shingo Takagi did debut New Japan Pro Wrestling, people were having mixed feelings because of his past action, which is animal abuse. But he did take the accountability. He did own up his apology. He did suffer the consequences and the punishment also, So that's what he did. I know I heard about some other stars, was also problematic, which I'm not 100% sure about it, but it's not just New Japan. You have is Ring of Honor that still have Jay Lethal. AEW, they still have Justin Roberts and Darby Allin. Impact Wrestling, even though despite the fact that they did fire a couple of people from this whole inappropriate situation, but they still kept Moose. WWE, oh my god, WWE, they still have Matt Riddle, they still have Austin Theory, they even have Velveteen Dream. And also they have some stars from NXT UK. Joe Coffey still suspended till this day. So every wrestling company has each of the problematic wrestlers, but I know they're like taking like more of the investigation accountability, but this whole innocent until proven guilty. Now it is still in a standstill and it's still being talked about till this day. However, you guys, I know that there's some fans that do not know about what's going on with the whole Will Ospreay situation. And like I know for a fact that I see a couple tweets here and there. I do like some of them, like with Valentine, but I do not like the tweet that some of the New Japan fans call out other fans who is a fan of Will Ospreay being attacked on for like, being a fan of someone who actually did something that is really horrible a couple years ago too. I did talk to one of my online friends, Karen Peterson, which you may know her as Karen Nerds Out on Twitter, and she is the narrative voiceover for one of Rob Schnackenberg's Canvas to Canvas episode of the Kabuki Warrior. So, and she did posted a very well put thread on Twitter, and that's when I did communicate with her, which I actually did see her at the Super J Cup last year in SF State, but we have not met each other until we started following each other on social media, and that's when we actually communicate here and there too. And by the way, she's an awesome translator too. She spent so many years in Japan because of her job occupation, but now she's here in the United States too. And huge shout out to Karen. which she actually did posted a very thorough tweet regarding the whole situation and how you guys can take an action too. Instead of like complaining and whining on social media like all of us do, there's a way to have our voice be heard. You know, especially with New Japan World Wrestling, especially the site feature too. So I'm gonna read what Karen wrote on Twitter. This is a 7-page thread, well, not a 7-page thread, like part. So anyway, this is what she wrote. And goes out to everybody, so here we go. She wrote, if you have concern about which wrestler the Japanese fans are supporting, I would encourage you to submit those concerns to the company where they work. In the last few days, multiple Japanese fans have received DMs and IG messages from fans berating and criticizing who they are excited to see in an upcoming tournament. As information about speaking out and the turbulent situation in Western wrestling scene are not available in Japanese, many fans in Japan are unaware of what happened. This is leading to well-intentioned mutual sharing information without translation, and it's hurting and confusing people who aren't versed in a delicate wrestling climate outside of Japan. The information isn't available to them in their own language, and machine translation or demanding Japanese language prolific people to provide that service unwarranted is unfair and place people in the middle of an already volatile situation, with legal ramification appearing for those directly involved in speaking out, those with the task with translating / interpreting could also be held liable should things eventually transition into legal proceedings. In adding additional frustration within the fans community, so kindly direct your concern to the company and ask them to handle it. Yes, this approach is different from how things are handled in our own culture. But please understand this topic is one of many that is rarely spoken of, despite the society trying to make stride to change. We can't force them to change their culture and or how they communicate. Any concerns, especially with this delicate situation, are best directed to the company. Please consider submitting your concern that way instead of overwhelming fans who generally don't know what has happened and have no resource available in their own language. Thank you. So that is a very well put tweet that Karen did actually say, and I did spoke to her about what's going on, and I actually asked her like, is it like I'll definitely spread the message like what she wrote on Twitter to here, so that way you guys can definitely have your voice be heard instead of like going back and forth with like other fans, especially some that's not aware about what's going on here on the other side of the country, especially with this whole speaking out movement, especially with like, with different like dialecting language. There is a way you guys can do it too. And I did take my part. So with New Japan Pro Wrestling, NJPW1972.com, they have a contact us in section on the main page where you guys can go to the website, like to njpw1972.com, and then you can go to like, there's the icon where like, there's the main menu. And then on the bottom of the private policy, you guys can definitely click us and that contact us, sorry, botch. So njpw1972.com, bottom of the page, policy, private policy, contact us, like along with like the menu of like news, schedule, result, all that. Like in the bottom, like next to copyright, bottom of private policy, click on that, and then make sure to send your message concern. I did email them, expressing my concern because they really love feedbacks and opinions from like different fans, like what New Japan Pro Wrestling can work on and whatnot. I have not heard back from them yet, but I'm just did write an email as a concerned fan, not just like, a podcaster or social media personnel, whatever, but as a human being and as a concerned fan. And I just wish New Japan Pro Wrestling should be aware of this situation. But all I can say is that's all I can say so far with this. Like, it is a very unsettling situation that's from time like these that's happening, especially those that is recent that happened back in June for it, you know. But I will be watching the G1 Climax, but then I will be watching only the highlights of the match that Osprey is being part of. However, if he is part of the finale, I'm gonna have to watch it, especially if I'm covering the G1 Climax for the Bullet Cast, and for the show too, for the audience. And I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from with this, because it is kind of like a very delicate situation. So I'm gonna leave it at that, you guys. So if you guys wanted to discuss, one-on-one conversation between you and me as a human being, we could talk it out like an adult. Feel free to DM me on Instagram and on Twitter, simply_C_OK. We can definitely talk it out, like whether you agree or disagree, and it's all good. I know some people are still fans of Will Ospreay. That's okay. I have to keep my mouth shut, as long as we do not talk about this whole speaking out movement, because it can be like into a butting head situation. It is still till this day, I do stand for the victims. My heart goes out to that victim who is suffering enough. And yeah, it's a shame. But anyway, so I'm gonna go with like my primary, secondary pick of who should be in the finale. So, and my overall winners. Primary pick for Block A is definitely going to be Jay White. I can see a lot of potential in him, especially representing the U.S. of A. and also his home country. So why not? I'm going with Jay White as my primary pick. My secondary pick, I'm going with Shingo Takagi. I feel he has more opportunity at hand, especially like he just lost the Never Openweight championship match to Minoru Suzuki at Summer Struggle, but I feel it's for him to be the briefcase holder, but we'll see. And for Block B, my primary pick, I feel he needs to definitely be more, um, let's just say, going on top. He's very talented and he definitely deserves it. My primary pick is Sonata. My secondary pick, why not have both briefcase? Especially for the fact that like he only has one briefcase. We're not sure where the hell is John Moxley, but I feel like two briefcases is enough. My secondary pick is gonna be Kenta. So yeah, my overall winner for the G1 Climax, I'm going with Sonata to be the winner. So anyway, you guys, that is it for like news for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break so that way it can just like, just be like positive, So all right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We're gonna be hearing from Brandon from Curveballs and Chair Shots.
What's up, everyone? It's Brandon. If you love sports and wrestling like I do, then check out my other podcast, Curveballs and Chair Shots. Every Friday, me and my illustrious co-host Dominic Hobson talk the biggest news from the MLB, NFL, NBA, and so much more. We also cover some things we don't talk about here on the Bulletcast, including a weekly NXT recap. You can listen to Curveballs and Chair Shots wherever you get your podcast. Just simply search Curveballs and Chair Shots. Now let's get back to the show.
And we are back. So let's move on from the negativity and going to the positive energy, you guys. Let's talk some Impact Wrestling. That is right. So the opening of this you have is the new Impact World Champion, Eric Young, came out and he cut a promo. And he stated that he is the world-class man, the world-class athlete, a world-class professional wrestler, and most importantly, a world-class maniac. Of course, EY, you are the man. You're the one that actually caused Rich to re-injure his leg and had to be forced into retirement. So yeah, so he did said what he had to say about his action for what Rich did to him at Slammiversary, and for what he did to Eddie Edwards last week. And he is the current champion. He is 100% inevitable. And out comes the music hits. Holy crap. Alicia Edwards. Like, this is the first time we actually seen Alicia Edwards actually standing up for Eddie Edwards. And it's been a while, you guys, since Alicia Edwards did made a quote unquote impact. Of course, she did an impact on Wrestle House, but not like in the impact zone. So it was great seeing Alicia Edwards. So she did came out and she did confronted EY. She said that like, you're standing here as a world champion to some people, but to me you're nothing but a coward. A coward that comes back to Impact to make a statement, but instead you decided to injure people. I love the way that she say coward, especially with that Boston accent. Like, I really love Alicia though, especially on WoW when she's Massey Sassy or Massey Macy. It's been a while, but anyway, you guys. So yeah, so she stated that like what he did to EY and then what he did to Eddie Edwards, and like she said like she doesn't know if Eddie's gonna be the same person ever again, especially how EY is a D-bag for what we did to like trying to ruin her and Eddie Edwards marriage, and especially the fact that like say at the time Eddie Edwards was a fighter, but then now he's like weak because EY came back, kick his butt, and then take the title, and it is really sad. And she did stated that like Eddie could not hold their daughter because he cannot even go for a walk because he is still injured. And she said, because of you, that's my family and that's everything. And of course, EY with his I don't care attitude. And that's when Alicia Edwards did B word slap. I kind of like got in trouble for saying the B word, so I'm gonna have to censor myself. So sorry, Philip. Yeah. She B word slapped EY in the face, and so EY kind of like smirked and he walked up, but nope. He kind of like ran her, and then he was about to do the package pile drive to her, which I was like, oh crap, look what she done. Why? And then out comes Tommy Dreamer and hit him with the kendo stick. That is right. Tommy Dreamer defending Alicia Edwards, of course, from Russell House, y'all. Stick together like family, of course. Tommy Dreamer did cut a promo saying, like, I would be a hypocrite for what I've done and pile driving a woman in my career, but you don't know how ramification or have to wake up next to someone who has a pain in their body for something that you did. This woman's my family, so is her, so is which wrong. You want to know why? Because when you left this company, there was men and women that decided to stay and give you home, a place for you to come, and you want to come back here and win like title like that. So even though Tommy Dreamer did complimented EY, but he said he is a scumbag and he rather like take out guys from their livelihood and especially someone to end their career as well. And he actually wanted to challenge EY for the title. It can be any type of match, extreme rules, old school rules, hardcore. He doesn't give a crap, but all he wants is like just come to EY and please do not touch Alicia, of course. Of course, EY accepted the challenge and he said, you made a damn last mistake, of course. And he said, you're a punk, her husband's a punk, Rich Swann is a punk, this place belongs to me. Me! Of course. I like the way he say me, though. So, there you have it, you guys. You have his official main event match has been announced between EY versus Tommy Dreamer in a simple Impact World Championship match. So, I'm guessing they're still continuing on with, like, the open challenge match every week. So, I think this is how they're going to be going moving forward, but kind of like, who can take out EY in a surprise fashion. But, anyway, moving on to the footage of Moose. You saw him, like, heading to the airport, going to God knows where he's going, but he is still kind of like traumatized with the whole situation with Eric Young. That is not Eric Young, botch, my bad, y'all. EC3. That is right, because you know that like EC3 is looking for Moose, and Moose just wanted to either get away from him or he wanted to beat the crap out of EC3, especially regarding the stolen TNA World Championship title. So it is going to be like a pretty interesting moment, especially controlling the whole narrative aspect. Anyway, moving on, you have is the segment between Taya Valkyrie, Rosemary, and Johnny Bravo as they were discussing wedding planning. So I know Taya, she volunteered that she could like be the one that's going to help to do the wedding planning, wanted to make the best wedding out of centuries, even though despite the fact that, like, how they're going to plan it out, especially the different vibes, too, with Rosemary and Johnny Bravo. I mean, Rosemary, the gothic, ghoulish, like, undead person, and she's awesome. And Johnny Bravo, of course, being Taya Valkyrie's assistant and a kind of like a well-dressed type of dude too. So it is pretty interesting. But they wanted a demon wedding, but then of course Taya wanted to make it all out for it too. So once Rosemary and Taya left, of course, Johnny Bravo was by himself. Out comes Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele, and they want to know what's up, why Johnny Bravo is following Taya's order. That's how Johnny Bravo is getting used to it and whatnot. But I know that Tasha and Kiera Hogan is trying their best to help him out, just to be their own person and just plan out the wedding how he wanted to be. So that is like a pretty interesting storyline that's going to be continuing on. And I think that it is something that we're going to get into that in a moment. All right, guys. So anyway, next up you have is the match between Chris Bay versus TJP. And that is right. On the last episode of Impact Wrestling from last week, TJP made a deal to Rojo. Well, actually, it was Rojo insisted on TJP that if he beat Chris Bay, he can earn a title shot for the X Division title against Rojo. So it is a deal in the making. So yeah, and like I said before, I'm not a fan of TJP's current Impact Wrestling theme entrances. I like his old theme entrances better, and the one he has for New Japan Pro Wrestling too. So anyway, it is a pretty much a good opening match for both guys, especially Chris Bay and TJP. It was like a lot of back and forth going on, but like in a very impressive way too. So you have is TJP did send Bay's chest first into the canvas. Of course, he did avoid the sacrifice, and he did take TJP with a single leg takedown. A lot of back and forth, like Bay transitioning to the ground, and a pound attack to TJP. And of course, out comes Rohit Raju, applauding both gentlemen outside the stage as he wanted to witness it, even though Chris Bay was distracted from Raju because, of course, he lost the title to Rohit Raju at night one of Emergence, so that was like a surprising moment for that. And then you have his TJP with a rebound arm drag, followed by with another rebound drop kick, and then he rolls Chris Bay back into the ring, and then he did prepare for a frog splash until Chris Bay used the referee to the advantage, of course, but they kind of break away from it. And then TJP with the arm bar and then the shoulder block, but of course Chris Bay did come out with the arm rigger, of course. And yeah, more back and forth. It was pretty much like, a lot of like animosity going on, a lot of like impressive submission hold too. And then you have is like Rohit Raju kind of like being like the whole distraction. Like you could tell with Chris Bay, he is like not focused on this match because of what Raju did to him at night one of Emergence. So I can understand for that. TJP did apply with the Muda lock, but then Chris Bay did punch him for Perkins, and that's when he did the judo takeout, followed by the step up Inzaguri for the 2 count, and then of course more back and forth action, and then of course you have Chris Bay did apply the torture rack, and then he did the Argentine neckbreaker for a 2 count, TJP catches Bay in midair, but of course, Chris Bay did counter TJP's detonation kicks, of course, and then with that more back and forth until Chris Bay did apply the sunset flip, but TJP did roll him over, and of course he did pick up the victory. So that is right, you guys. TJP defeated Chris Bay, and I feel bad for Chris Bay. I mean, he lost the X Division title, and now he's not going to get the rematch for Rohit Raju. I think for a fact that we're going to be seeing a match between TJP and Rohit Raju for the X Division title. But I feel that it is going to be a continuation for the storyline. Especially we got like 1 month away until Bound for Glory. That's their next Impact Wrestling pay-per-view. I can sense that now with this feud going on. We're probably going to be seeing like a possible Ultimate X match. That is something that we can definitely see, especially how these three gentlemen can go up to this high caliber and possibly adding one more person too, but who knows of it too. So I mean, if Impact Wrestling can make it, I'm for it. I'm looking forward to like bringing back the Ultimate X match for the X Division title. That'll be something, especially like during this pandemic era. So I mean, it could be inside the Impact Zone. Maybe a cinematic match. I mean, that is one thing that Impact Wrestling needs to work on, especially for the pay-per-view. We have not seen any cinematic matches whatsoever. If you count Russell House as part of a cinematic match for like the Emergence special, I guess, but so that's just me. Alrighty, guys, so we're going to be moving on to, of course, the locker room talk. Of course, he has Madison Rayne and her co-host, Johnny Swinger, who is back from Wrestle House. And I know that Madison Rayne wanted to have Johnny Swinger dish on what's going on in Wrestle House, of course. But, of course, Madison Rayne doesn't even care that much. And she brought out her guests, Kylie Rae and Susie. So Madison asked Kylie Rae the question, what was Wrestle House like? And then she gave a brief answer. But however, Madison Rae was only focused on is Susie, of course, especially how if there's any response from Susie. And she wanted to see if Susie is the same person as Su Yung, kind of like a traitor. Once that Susie was about to answer, of course, out comes the current Impact Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo, and Kimberly. So that is right, you guys. They're actually kind of like a tag team now. Kimberly and Deonna Purrazzo, which that would make more sense. The Virtuosa and I would like to say, the Magical Curator, of course. I'm actually for it. So both these ladies came in, and then, of course, she confronted Susie and Kylie Rae how much that Deonna Purrazzo ruined her black tie affair to celebrate her winning the Knockouts championship, of course. So they have an argument, and then of course they accepted the match for next week. So that's right. Next week's tag team match is going to be team of Kylie Rae and Susie versus Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly, and that is going to be a very stellar match. And yeah, that is it for like the whole locker room talk segment. I mean, nothing much to say. It's just building up a match whatsoever. But yeah, you guys. Anyway, moving on. So you have his Brian Myers coming out, and then he cut a promo confronting about Willie Mack. He stated that I'm the world's most professional wrestler, Brian Myers. I wrestle in all 50 states. I've crisscrossed this world 27 times. Do you know how many miles I have, Willie Mack? I've won championship on pay-per-view. Yeah. One thing that you forgot about it, Brian Myers, how many times you lost so many times since your return? Oh, sorry. That's another company. Yeah. Talking about his old self when he's back in Impact Wrestling. So I know he's just wanted to say that, he is better than Willie Mack, and that he had to understand one thing: there is time to honor tradition in this business. The handshake, a sign of respect. You shake my hand, give the respect to those that paved the way for you guys like you in this business in the first place. So, of course, he called out Willie Mack to come out just to shake his hand. That's right, Willie Mack came out, and he stated that he doesn't come out to shake hands or be professional. As a matter of fact, I like to take both my hands down and put them around your neck and shake that once or twice. So he stated that Impact Management saw what happened, like, on the last time they got into the ring together, and of course they granted a rematch. So he wanted to have a rematch, and so Brian Myers say, "Nope, I'm not dressed for the match. I'm not tan." I was like, "Dude, you're already tan enough." And he's like, "I'm not. I didn't oiled up." Okay, and then whatever, he needs to prepare to become a professional wrestler for that too. And so, and he say, didn't they tell you to always bring your gear if you're a professional? And that's when there is a beatdown going on. And that's right, bell rung. And of course, the match has been happening. So it's kind of like a promo turning to kind of like a automatic match. So yeah, so of course, Brian Matt had to wrestle in his street clothes. So yeah, so nothing much to say. It is just like many beatdown across the ring and especially within the ring. And then you have, like I said, Myers drive Willie Mack's knee into the midsection, followed by Myers applied the Irish whip, and then of course Willie Mack did sidestep Myers into a turnbuckle, and then of course he did a clothesline, followed by a spinning elbow strike, followed by a body slam, and then he did try to do the running leg drop for a 2 count, and then a Samoan drop to Brian Myers. So pretty much an impressive, like, back and forth action. And of course, you have Willie Mack doing a standing moonsault for two counts until Myers did apply the stunner. And of course, Brian Myers did rake the eyes of Willie Mack, which he could not see, but he did apply the spine buster, and then followed by a forearm smash. Then, of course, he did trying to counter Myers in the corner. But of course, Brian Myers, typical low blows behind the referee's back while it's not looking, and of course, Brian Myers connected with the lifting DDT, and he won the match in his street clothes, you guys. So it was a pretty interesting rematch, but I guess we're probably going to be seeing another rematch in the making soon, but who knows what's going to happen next with Impact Wrestling. But anyway, guys, so then you have is the backstage segment with Gia Miller interviewing Jordan Grace, asking her, like, what she thinks about, like, Asian rematch against Deonna Purrazzo. Even though Jordan Grace said that, she did came into the Black Tie Affair to congratulate Deonna Purrazzo and her accomplishment, but the only thing that she wanted to focus on is finding Tennille Dashwood. So her and Gia went all the way backstage to the dressing room to see if Tennille Dashwood was there. And guess what? Out comes the returning Caleb Conley. That is right. Caleb Conley with a K, you guys. Not a C anymore, with a K. And it is pretty interesting because the last time we see Caleb, he was at NWA Power. So I'm guessing he is one of the many of the NWA star who is now a free agent. Like you have is Eddie Kingston and Ricky Starks, who is now with AEW. Thunder Rose is doing her own thing. She did an appearance on AEW Dynamite, and she did an appearance on AEW's All Out, which she lost the match to Hikaru Shida, which that match was the match of the night. And I'm looking forward to her match against Eva Lee's next week on Dynamite. And what else? Stu Bennett, or should I say Wade Barrett, is now back in NXT doing commentary. So I know that you have like many other stars that are like no longer work for NWA, is back to their prospective company. So I guess that's the whole situation with Caleb Conley with a K. So Caleb came out and and Jordan was like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm Tennille's PP, aka personal photographer." And so Jordan asked him, like, when is Tennille coming back? And of course they show, like, couple pictures of Tennille Dashwood's modeling picture, of course, and then say she's coming back next week. So, and then back to like where Jordan, Gia, and Caleb with a K stand. So, yeah, you guys. So we're gonna be seeing the appearance of Tennille Dashwood next week. It is interesting to say at least, but I'm glad that she's back since last week, especially like, I know she's very comfortable being back since like this whole pandemic hit. She's trying to be cautious regarding with her health situation, with her skin condition. So I understand that, health always comes first, but I'm glad that she is back no matter what. And it's good to see Caleb with a K coming back as well. Alrighty, you guys. So let's go ahead and go to the next match, which is the Impact World Tag Team Championship match, which you have is the current champ, the Motor City Machine Gun, versus representing the Rascals, Desmond Xavier or Dez, and Zachary Wentz. It is a pretty interesting and a very good tag team match. Like, you start off with the Rascals dropkick Motor City Machine Guns, and then off the ring, and then they did the stereo suicide dives, which that was a pretty impressive showcase from the Rascals doing the suicide dives to the Guns. It was amazing. And so you have is Wentz did the rising knee strike followed by a rolling snapmare takeover to Chris Sabin, and then he did the standing moonsault for a 2 count. Of course, Alex Shelley did the blind tag, and of course, Sabin did reverse out with the Irish whip for Wentz, and then Sabin blocks for a boot for Wentz, knowing the fact that, Alex Shelley is still the legal man, but, kind of like a surprise one. So Sabin did pass the ring right leg of Wentz over to Alex Shelley, and Sabin did the step up enziguri, followed by Alex Shelley with the single leg drop kick. And so it's a lot of like going back and forth with the Guns and the Rascals. It was very amazing. I was blown away for it together. Then you have his Zegman Xavier super kick Sabian, followed by with a running back elbow smash for a cute 2 count. And of course, Alex Shelley rocks Des Xavier with the forearm smash, and then Zachary Wentz did super kick Shelley. Sabin with the step up enziguri again for the second time, and then he put Wentz on top of the turnbuckle. Desmond Xavier with the step up enziguri to Chris Sabin, followed by a catapult Sabin into a boot from Wentz, and while Wentz did the flying double foot stomp, Des Xavier going to the cover for the 2 counts, of course. It was pretty much a lot of like more of a high flying action for these teams. I was blown away too. And so you have a Sabin drop kick, the left knee of Xavier, followed by a Muda lock / basement drop kick combination. That's when the Motor City Machine Gun connects with the ASCS Rush. Then they plant Wentz with their Michinoku driver combo Death Valley driver to pick up the victory. That is right. With their double team finisher, they retained the Impact World Tag Team Championship match, and I was very blown away for it. I really enjoyed, very impressed with that. And afterwards, of course, you have out comes the North attacking Motor City Machine Gun. And first of all, what in the hell Ethan Page is wearing? That looks like a dad outfit. Well, of course, Ethan Page is a dad, of course, and his daughter's adorable. Just saying. Yeah. Oh my god. Like, see him in a different, like, even like, like my friends and my fiance were like, what the hell is going on? Well, I was like, whoa, hun, it's your boss, though. So, yeah. Anyway, and I know they made a meme about Ethan Page's fashion choice, but, it is what it is. So the North did attack from behind, and then out comes Ace Austin, and Madman Fulton joins in and attack the Rascals. And then the music hit, the devil in disguise. Out comes the Good Brothers, making a full-blown save. So you have is Motor City Machine Guns, the Rascals, and the Good Brothers standing tall, while Ace Austin, Madman Fulton, and the North were like outside of the ring. So yeah, you guys, so still continuing with the rivalry in the mix, y'all. Anyway, and then afterwards you have is Rob Van Dam and Katie Forbes making the announcement. Of course, Katie Forbes say, like the time that we stomped and beat the crap out of Sami Callihan, of course, and then Rob Van Dam's like, nope. they're having a talk show segment called the Whole Effin' Talk Show. So pretty interesting that they're gonna be having their segment. So Rob Van Dam's gonna be the host, Katie Forbes as a co-host. So I guess we're gonna be seeing a lot of like twerking and making out section, whatever that's gonna be it. But then out comes Sammy Callan cutting his own hacker promo, of course. And of course, he said even though he did beat Rob Van Dam, but he still got his ass kicked. And of course, what is up with Sammy Callahan obsession with Katie Forbes, especially with like, 8679309 song, it's like, Katie, you got my number. You got my it's like the lyrics from that 8679309 song, classic song but back in the 80s, y'all. So it seems that the feud is still continue between those guys. And I feel that with that, I think that the feud is going to be kind of like a rubber match altogether. So it looks like we'll be seeing what's going on next week. And it looks like it's just going to be like still a build up for their feud leading up to Bound for Glory next month. I mean, anything can go no matter what. But we'll see, you guys. All right, you guys. So with that being said, afterwards you have is, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele backstage, and out comes Taya Valkyrie, kind of like confronting both of these ladies, like what are they doing to Johnny Bravo, even though Tasha's like, we're teaching Johnny Bravo to stand up and whatnot. And Ty was like, I don't even know you, okay? And so Tasha introduced that I am La Boricua Badass Tasha Steele, and then attitude. And then Ty said, well, I'm Ty Valkyrie, the longest reigning knockouts championship. So they got into like a back and forth argument. Of course, the match has been confirmed. So we have is a women's match, Ty Valkyrie versus Tasha Steele, which of course we're gonna be taking a quick commercial break, you guys. So for that, so that way I can like rest my voice a bit. So anyway, we're gonna be hearing from Philip from Chicle TV.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Philip here. Look, there are so many channels out there on YouTube that do pranks and challenges and funny videos like That Just Happened TV, Nelk, and Love Live Serve. But why don't you look up Chicle TV? Yes, Chicle TV. Chikle TV. It is a channel I started with my buddy Vinny a couple years ago, and we've done wrestling finishers in public. He's done eating challenges. We've done pranks to people. It's a whole lot of fun. When you go to YouTube, it is the thumbnail with the guy blowing the bubble. It says Chicle TV right in the bubble. And look, just sit down, relax, hop on YouTube, look up Chicle TV, and
ooh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Crack open a little bit of the bubbly. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Chicle TV. Like, share, subscribe. It is the freshest channel on YouTube.
All right, guys, we are back from commercial break, and we're going to be jumping on to the next match you have is Tasha Steele with Kiera Hogan versus Taya Valkyrie with John E. Bravo. So it was a pretty alright match, even though the match lasted 4 minutes, which I was like tad disappointed because I was expecting a little bit longer of a match, but it's all good because like we've been hearing a lot from like Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele smack talking Taya Valkyrie, hearing like yeah, period, yeah. You only think about the wedding but yourself, period. It's like, Jesus Christ, how many times am I going to be saying like period or period poo? Like, when did you add period with a T at the end or a period poo? Like, I don't get it, especially with this generation. Like, don't get me wrong, you guys. I'm like technically I'm like in my early 30s just to admit my age, but I digress. So yeah. Anyways, like just simple back and forth actions, not too much to say. I mean, you have his like Taya Valkyrie with the basement drop kick for a 2 count, and then more mind games going on. Valkyrie with a couple punches to Steele in the back until you got Kiera Hogan did trip Taya Valkyrie from outside of the ring, as Tasha Steele did pull her down to the mat, and then she did transition into a ground and a pound attack to Taya Valkyrie. And then Tasha with a flying forearm smash followed by a running European uppercut. Then she dropped Taya with a neck breaker for a 2 count, and then a back chops, and then a side headlock, and then she goes for a springboard bulldog until Ty did counter with a sit-down powerbomb. And of course, it's like a lot of distraction going on. And then you saw Johnny Bravo on the phone, and he was just planning a wedding like he normally do, even though Taya begged him to get off the phone and just focus on like the match from the shenanigans from Kira and Tasha, of course. And commentator side, I'm sorry, Josh Matthews trying to say La Boricua, like him saying that's kind of cringy, especially with Madison Rain trying to, correct him, is La Boricua badass. Like, okay, I get it now. You try your best to, like, pronounce it, but it's still a bit cringy. That's just me, you guys. Like, I do agree to disagree. Like, I'm not a fan of Josh Matthews on commentary. It's like in a bit, it's kind of like a hit or miss moment. I kind of miss Don Callis. Like, I don't know what happened to him. I mean, he did his appearance at Slammiversary, but I know he is doing commentary for Impact Wrestling Explosion alongside, well, Matt Striker, you guys. I'll be damned, but digress on it. Anyway, continuing on with the match, you have his Ty Valkyrie with a 2 open hand chops, followed by a pop-up knee strike for a 2 count, short arm reversal from Tasha Steele, and then she drops Ty with a rolling elbow, Tasha with a running forearm smash, sending Valkyrie to the corner until Taya used her feet to create separation. And then that's when she spears Tasha, and she did the Road to Valhalla, and Taya Valkyrie. Sorry again with the botch. It's late at night, y'all. Alright? Taya Valkyrie with the Road to Valhalla and pick up the victory. That is right. So pretty much it is a pretty decent match. Like I said, I wish the match is a little bit longer, but it is what it is. I know we're going to be seeing kind of like a feud between Taya, Kira, and Tasha, and adding Rosemary to them is because, when it comes to the Knockouts division, the tag teams, and I think this is kind of going to be like a build up to a possible comeback of the Knockouts tag team title, especially like Kira Hogan and Tasha Steele getting their push as a tag team together shows that they can bring it. Even though they ended the feud with Nevaeh and Havoc, now they're going on transitioning to the next feud, which is with Taya and Rosemary. Anyway, guys, and then you have is the promo. Out comes Rhino, like, looking back and forth, and of course, there's Heath coming out asking him for money, even though, like, Rhino wanted him to, like, help with the campaign, especially appreciating him for, like, helping out with last week's match against Reno Scum, but of course, management was really pissed. But Rhino's willing to help by stealing a big load of money from Hernandez. So we'll see what's going to happen next. But yeah, anyway, guys, so we're going to be moving on to the main event match. That is right, which is for the Impact World Championship match, and it's a old school rules match between the current champ Eric Young versus Tommy Dreamer. Not too much to say about the main event. I feel this is like your typical like main event matches, but with like certain spots that kind of like a hit or miss, especially some stuff that is not being utilized, especially the table, for instance. But yeah, you got a lot of like more back and forth action, like with Tommy Dreamer with a hip toss followed by a body slam to EY. Then he grabs a kendo stick. And then, of course, until EY did deliver a gut punch to Dreamer and punches him in the back. But then Tommy Dreamer reversed out to an Irish rip to EY. And then EY with the shoulder block in. And then he did a flying clothesline. But Dreamer countered with a kendo stick shot. So you got kendo sticks. And then you got the steel chain, of course, that Tommy Dreamer got, and he actually, it was like all over. It's kind of like a pretty much, it was a kind of like your EC style type of match, but it's like kind of like low key, watered down a bit. But it's all good. So Tommy Dreamer did grab multiple weapons into the ring. Like he grabbed couple chairs, trash cans, even a cookie sheet, you guys. So Tommy Dreamer hits EY with the metal cookie sheet, and then he put EY in a top turnbuckle, punches EY in the chest, and he went for the suplex, but EY blocks it. Then he bites Dreamer's forehead, followed by sends Dreamer crashing to the canvas. Okay, cool. And then EY did putting the boots to Dreamer, and then catapult Dreamer's throat under the bottom of the rope for 2 counts. And then he used a cookie sheet to strike on Tommy Dreamer, and then delivers a big chair shot, of course. Then EY goes for the elbow drop, but Dreamer's got up with his feet up in the air and hits a count cutter. And of course, a lot of back and forth going on, like I said, for both these guys. And then Dreamer did hit with the running elbow drop for a 2 count. So more chopping, more like knee bar action going on. Tommy Dreamer used the candlestick to break the submission hold from the knee bar submission from EY. And of course, EY did wedge a trash can between the turnbuckle. Dreamer applies the waist lock. Of course, EY decks down with a back elbow smash. Dreamer with a reverse out of the Irish whip, followed by a DDT for a 2 count. And of course, Tommy Dreamer grabs the table under the ring and he's trying to like place it. But of course, EY low blow, you guys. What is up with low blows these days, you guys? Wow. Of course, EY kind of negates the spin Coley driver and then clocks Tommy Dreamer with the hockey mask. Like the same hockey mask that he actually hit Eddie Edwards on the last week's episode of Impact Wrestling that actually got him to win the Impact World title. So he did the same thing to Tommy Dreamer, followed by Spike Power Driver, and EY retains the Impact World Championship match. Like, not much to say. Like I said, the table has not been used at all, except it's just been placed there. Now, I want to see more of the table spot. That's just me. But afterwards, EY, of course, brutally attacked Dreamer with the chair, followed by the candlestick, and guess lo and behold, Rich Swann came out and whipped and hit EY with the crutches. So he hopped one leg inside the ring while his other leg is like cast up all together. So yeah, you guys, I mean, I'll be damned. Well then, we all got worked. Yours truly got worked. I thought Rich Swann is officially retired, but it turns out it's just an angle. It was a lot of like arguing back and forth, so yep, I had a stuck on stupid moment on my end, but oh well. Guess I like the thing is with me, I really don't like the fact when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna be officially retired for good," knowing the fact that a couple months to a year or so, they're back in the ring. And it's like, is there a term retirement in wrestling means anything anymore? It's like, I don't know. It's kind of like taking away for it altogether. So I guess Rich Swann is back, but still he has his one knee is still cast up that the doctors told him like he's not allowed to compete ever again. I don't know what's going to happen next. So the ending is very questionable per se, but the show overall is just your typical like episode of Impact Wrestling, but in a kind of like in a major improving way too. I mean, I'm glad Russell House is done. Now talking about more of each of the segment you have is the debut. Well, technically the return of Caleb Conley with a K. And a lot of like promos and a lot of like story building ahead. And I forgot to mention one thing, you guys. Like right before the main event match, Moose met with his high school coach and asked him like if he's seen like someone that looks like EC3. It's like no. And then of course the coach said control your narrative. It's like wait what? It's like stop. And of course Moose almost got attacked by a couple of these moms, I think high school students or something, and they're all wearing EC3 hoodies. So I guess they've been hired by EC3 for what's going on. So the whole storyline continues. So all in all, you guys, I mean, it is a very standard episode of Impact Wrestling. I know they're starting with the whole build-up for Bound for Glory. I feel that there is some of the rivalries ahead that are starting to pick up, like the whole Rob Van Dam, Katie Forbes, and Sami Callihan's situation. The whole like X Division title situation with Raj Raju, TJP, and Rich Swann. The tag team that has been happening going on. And yeah, so the matches that's confirmed for next week, you have, of course, like I said, you have is the team of Kimberly and Deonna Purrazzo versus the team of Kylie Ray and Susie. And then I think you have is the rematch between like Willie Mack versus Brian Myers. Let me go ahead and look at the matches again. I'm so sorry, you guys. I accidentally exit out on my phone because I have it all in my notes, and plus it's getting late too. So I got to make sure to get this podcast done out so you guys can enjoy everything. So yeah, you guys. Okay. Yep. And then you have is the 8-man tag team match between the team of Motor City Machine Guns and the Rascal versus the North and Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. Of course, the Rob Van Dam, Katie Forbes, whole effing show situation. And you have Tenille Dash who will be coming out and making her return. So yeah, you guys, for my thumbs up, thumbs down wise, I'm gonna give Impact Wrestling a generous 1.5 thumbs up. I enjoy the opening of the match between TJP and Chris Bay. It was pretty awesome. I was impressed with the tag team title match between Motor City Machine Guns and the Rascals. I enjoy some of the storyline that is starting to build up, especially with the whole Taya Valkyrie, Kiera Hogan, and Tasha Steele situation. And now that we have Deonna Purrazzo is in a storyline with Kylie Ray, but then with the aid of Kimberly and also Susie, everything is starting to come down to play, especially it's all about knowing storytelling and controlling your narrative, as what EC3 would say. So again, 1.5 thumbs up. All right, you guys, and with that being said, that is it for the episode of Into the Stratusphere. Want to say thank you so much for sticking through. I know that we started off great, and then sadness, and then great, and then negative, and then bounced back to something great, Hopefully there is something more that it is going to be developed, like, with different topics and whatnot. I know the next episode of AEW, why am I thinking? The next episode Into the Stratusphere is just going to be your normal recap for Impact Wrestling, and also like results from past shows. I'm probably going to be doing something, maybe doing like a movie review from like wrestling documentaries. I know that I'm probably going to be doing the review of the David Arquette documentary. Also, I'm probably going to be covering the whole like United Fight Network, like that's happening on Fight TV regarding the NWA partnership. So am I going to be covering on that? Depends on it. So we'll see. So yeah. So if you guys wanted to send me DMs of like, suggestions, feedbacks, also a conversation regarding like, the whole situation, feel free to do so. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram and on my YouTube channel at simply_C_OK. That's SIMPLY_C_OK. Also, you guys make sure to follow the Bulletcast on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. And also listen to the Bulletcast on social media, podcast form. I mean, duh. Spotify, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, other podcasting platform. And just a quick announcement, there is going to be a interview coming up from Philip Antoine interviewing someone live, socially distanced, you guys, because we're still in pandemic. So yeah, make sure to stay tuned. It's dropping tomorrow on Sunday. All right, I don't know when this podcast will be up by. Hopefully it'll be up by, of course, today, Saturday. But yeah, you guys, with that being said, make sure to practice social distancing. Please wash your hands 20 to 30 seconds. Please always wear your face mask or any face covering. No excuses, because we're still in a pandemic. And remember, you guys, and this is a very important lesson to take away from all of us, especially discussing about what happened. Please remember to please be kind to one another. We're all in this together. Cheers, y'all.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.